Good evening, everybody. It is a special night in the DC Wilcott Gymnasium. We are gathering for the senior night ceremony for varsity volleyball. Tonight we honor three seniors, Ryan Wheeler and Matteo Sullivan from the playing staff, and then Jaden Althoff, one of the team managers. So we're going to throw down to the ceremony, and when we come back, stick around after the ceremony. We have CBC taking on Chaminade. You are watching Senior Night on the Cadet Student Network. There you have the class of 2019 senior night ceremony for varsity volleyball here at CBC. Jaden Althoff, Matteo Sullivan, and Ryan Wheeler being honored. They're getting ready for their group picture. After that, there will be a warm-up period. We are going to step aside for a few minutes here on CSN. When we come back, we will be all set for volleyball. Thanks for joining with us. Stick around. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the senior night ceremony. We are getting set for CBC versus Chaminade volleyball from the DC Wilcott Gymnasium on the Cadet Student Network. My name is Tom Eichwald. Tonight's matchup pits the Cadets coming in at a lackluster 2-15-1, but The Chaminade Red Devils, last time they played, it was a very, very close game. The Red Devils come in 13-3, and it should be an entertaining one on senior night. Some lineup changes as well. We'll get to those in a minute, but first I want to bring in CBC freshman coach Jack Lisette. Jack, nice to have you in the booth.
Thank you very much, Tom. Nice to be here.
So as we look at this game, we look at the record for CBC, we look at some of the close games that they have ended up losing. What's been the story so far this season for the Cadets?
So right now the story has been, always been a slow start in these games coming out. They always get their energy in the second game. The things we're working on right now is just bringing that energy, point one, game one. That's really been the story of the season so far.
Safe to say Chaminade, a team coming in scintillating form, is going to be very difficult to compete against if you start slow. Will a fast start be the key for the Cadets tonight?
Absolutely, because one thing Chaminade's going to do is they're going to establish their middles right away. Brian Carter, the team captain and middle, has great chemistry with the setter, Jimmy Mullen. Those two guys run the middle nonstop, and they're going to establish that quick. And then what's going to happen is they're going to bring the set out to the outside because our middles, our blockers, are going to start concentrating on the middles. The second we start doing that and they go to the outside, we leave the outside wide open for them. So we just got to make sure that we shut down that middle right away and we're ready for the outside.
There you have it, Jack Lisette breaking down this game for you. Before we get started, we want to ask you, Cadet fans, are you protected? Call State Farm agent and CBC alum Tim Kylo for all your insurance needs. Tim is more than just the best insurance guy in town. He's also the presenting sponsor of CSN, and we are incredibly grateful for his support. Call Tim at 314-842-4442 or send him an email, tim@timkylo, that's KILO.com. Getting set for starting lineups, prayer, and the national anthem. We'll run through them real quick. Not sure you'll be able to hear them over the PA. For the visiting Red Devils, it's going to be Owen Thomason, Philip Mullen, Jimmy Mullen, Mason Mooney, Michael Yeager, Brian Carter, and then we were told either Anthony Greer or Vincent Laurie, depending on the rotation. We'll give you that one as soon as we see it. And for the Cadets, the starting lineup will be Ryan Wheeler, Ryan Conan, Adam Borgmeyer, Matteo Sullivan, Nick Newman, and Joe Feltz. I think that math adds up. Did I miss somebody? I think I did miss somebody, but I believe Jared Ernst will be
Jared
the libero.
Ernst will be a defensive specialist, absolutely.
Should have included him in there. CBC wearing the home blacks and Chaminade in the visiting red. We are going to step aside for the opening prayer and national anthem. When we come back, it's volleyball action. Thanks for joining us on CSN. We are back in the booth. Tom Eichwald and Jack Lisette getting set to bring you CBC versus Chaminade. The officials are checking the nets, making sure everything's ready to go. Any final thoughts before this one, Jack?
Yeah, CBC's going to have to come out real quick on this game. Right now, Wheeler and Matteo, both the seniors that we're here celebrating tonight. Right now, I'm interested to actually see where Wheeler's playing because he's been going from the outside and the middle. I think he's going to be playing middle tonight, and if so, he's going to hopefully shut down Brian Carter on their team, Chaminade, their middle, because that's their biggest threat is Brian Carter, the middle.
And coming in for Chaminade, obviously you like the form you're in. Is it kind of easy when you're having a season like that? Is there anything CBC can do to kind of get Chaminade thinking this might not be like the other games? Is it that?
Absolutely. The one thing they can do right away is just every time they get a point, whether it's a kill on CBC's side or an unforced error on Chaminade's side, they just need to get loud. That's the biggest key in volleyball. It's a big head game, so they just got to get loud, bring the game, and they'll go from there.
That is Jack Lisette, CBC alumnus and coach of the freshman volleyball team. My name is Tom Eichwald, getting set for the beginning of this one. CBC is on the left side of your screen wearing the all black. Chaminade on the right side wearing all red. Just one more time running through starters before we get going for Chaminade. 0, Owen Thomason. 6, Vincent Laurie. 9, Philip Mullen. 13, Jimmy Mullen. 25, Mason Mooney. 27, Michael Yeager. 35, Brian Carter. For the Cadets, number 3, Ryan Wheeler. Number 4, Ryan Conan. Number 6, Adam Borgmeyer. 7, Matteo Sullivan. 10, Nick Newman. 12, Joe Feltz. And libero, Jared Ernst, wearing the number 9. Players are positioned. Looks like Wheeler will start middle back. To answer your question.
So right now, Ryan Wheeler is playing middle. He is going to be a middle attacker, so hopefully he will shut down Brian Carter. He's a quick enough player, too, that he's not going to get stuck in the middle when they accidentally or when they secretly go in the back set or the outside. Ryan Wheeler is quick enough to make it all the way out there and close out that block with the other pin hitters.
He has Borgmeyer and Feltz alongside of him. And then in the front line, it is Sullivan, Conan, and Newman. All set to begin. First serve will be Jimmy Mullen of Chaminade. Right down the middle into the net. There's the noise you were talking about.
Yeah, this is the noise they need to be bringing right now. The bench is up, which is great. The bench has a role just like the people on the court do.
And the first serve for CBC will go to Nick Newman. Getting set, final instructions. Coach Molly Dean in her first year as varsity head coach. Getting her last words in, and here we go.
Nick Newman with the float serve. Chaminade setter in the net. CBC point.
So that is 2-0 early to CBC. And they will look to build a little bit of momentum. Chaminade stacking CBC's left side. Here's the opening hit, and that is a good one inbounds from Michael Yeager. Very well executed defense by Chaminade. And they will look to get another one, try to get back even in this one.
And the key to this game, too, is going to be a side-out game. Now, every time we lose that point, we got that ball coming back at us. We need to pass this ball to zone 7 to that setter and get an efficient tack so that to make sure we get that serve back to us.
Owen Thomason's serve can't be dealt with by Feltz, 2-2. It was so good they give him another one. A few last-minute bounces. Serve received by Newman. Set it'll be Borgmeyer. Across the middle, Thomason digs. Finds Wheeler in the back. Set, Borgmeyer again. Tipped at the net. But that is going to be CBC's point.
Yeah, and Adam Borgmeyer, we just saw him have 2 attacks right there. Keep your eye on him. He's one of the most underrated players in this team. He is so consistent. He doesn't have a big, powerful hit, but he's so consistent on swinging to those deep corners and taking it off that block if he needs to.
This is the sophomore Jimmy McLaughlin for CBC. Serves received by Thomason. Set Carter out of bounds, CBC point. 4-2 early on as the Cadets on senior night look to hold their own against a very impressive Chaminade Red Devil team. McLaughlin again. Thomason. Set. Spike attempt blocked. It was Philip Mullen, another block. And Wheeler gets his first block of the game. 5-2 Cadets.
As we can see, Wheeler's already taking control in there and taking what's his right away. He's putting that ball back over that net when it's barely coming over.
McLaughlin's third serve, 5-2 Cadets. Receive, there's the set, it won't be Carter. Instead it's on the outside, well dealt with by Newman. Here's the set, Carter fakes. That is just out of bounds off the right hand of Michael Yeager. 6-2 Cadets.
And something they're doing different than I didn't expect, Tom, is that they're hitting the right side. That was a third attack in a row by the right side, and I haven't seen too much from their middle yet. So that is a surprise.
They're really trying to tee up Yeager out there consistently, aren't they? McLaughlin's serve. Thomason. Yeager again. They're trying to get him going. Diving stop by Sullivan. Borgmeyer off the block, and it comes off of Wheeler. Chaminade point, 6-3. They're trying to stack the right side. The Cadets trying to favor the left and get Borgmeyer involved in this one early.
Absolutely.
This is Michael Yeager. He's set up in the middle. Trailing 6-3. Yeager jump serve. Set up for Wheeler. Well dealt with there by Jimmy Mullen. Another set just across. Sullivan out. And picking up the point for Chaminade is number 11 into the game, Anthony Greer.
Now on a ball like that, Matteo Sullivan's at the net on the block. The ball goes behind him. He, as a blocker, should stick to the block and let the passer behind him take that ball.
So miscommunication perhaps from CBC. Wheeler right into the hands of the Chaminade defense, up and over. Wheeler saves again. Feltz up, not over. And it's Althoff who puts it over. No, correction, Sullivan who puts it over. That is going to go to Chaminade, though. Is that an extra hit?
Yes, extra hit. Is
that how they scored?
Yep.
6-5, Yeager. Chaminade looks to tie. Wheeler sets Borgmeyer. Spike dealt with by Thomason. You're going to set up Greer. Feltz receives. Borgmeyer has to play it over. Thomason, who are they going to set up here? It's Carter, big block by Wheeler. And that is CBC's point, 7-5. Chaminade cannot quite catch up here in the first game on senior night. Ryan Wheeler active, making some small talk with his counterpart Carter over there. We're arranging a post-dinner bite at Chick-fil-A, the official chicken sandwich of the Cadet Student Network. This one's up for Greer, who hits it into the net. Another imposing defensive presence by Wheeler. He's taken this game over in the last few points.
And Matteo Sullivan's serve right here, it has gotten so much better from the beginning of this season. He's really keeping that ball on his shoulder right here and driving it through to the other side of the court. Good
power on it. It was received by Yeager. Mullen over. Devontae Barber in there as well. Borgmeyer across. Thomason's going to set. Philip Mullen now. Set again for Borgmeyer, and that is deep. It will be 8-6. Devontae Barber coming up from JV. He will be wearing number 1 in the first game, we are told. And wearing the number 1 in the second game is Jake Schaefer.
Yeah, I've watched Devontae a lot in the JV level. He is a great player. He knows how to jump. He gets off to that 10-foot line. He's a great attacker. Let's see how he plays here in varsity, though.
Set for Wheeler. Soft touch over. Is Chaminade going to be able to get this across? No. Wheeler with a little bit of touch. 10-6. 9-6, correction. I thought I was faster than the scoring table.
We got...
What pride is mine, Jack?
We got Jaden Altoff here coming in as the manager, coming in for a serve. He's been practicing his jump serve in practice here, so let's see how it goes.
Jaden Altoff on senior night. Right hand across. Conservative with the first attempt. Greer into the middle. Altoff tips it up. Sullivan there. And Wheeler, the 3 seniors combined. Yeager into the rafters. Cadets point.
Altoff, as a manager, gets a second chance at a serve.
He's 1 for 1. He is wearing 13 this evening with Austin Sommer out. His second serve. Let's see if he's feeling it. His buddies are filming him down here. It's Nate Miller. He's recording this for posterity's sake. They're going to set up Greer across.
Sets out so Jimmy McLaughlin takes the second ball.
The CBC spike attempt was from Ted Meyer, and that is deep from Greer. Another CBC point, 11-6. First game has gone to plan for CBC, I'd say.
Sorry, say that one more time.
First game has gone to plan from
Absolutely.
CBC?
If they can keep this 5-point lead, they're in good shape. Like I always say before games, it's a game to 5. Every 5 points, beat them to 5, beat them to 10, beat them to 15. If you do that, you've done it right, and this game will go as planned.
Sullivan across, and the spike from Ted Meyer makes it 12-6 in favor of the Cadets. And Altoff serve 4. Haven't seen the jump serve. 6-point lead. Does he try it? Nope.
No, it doesn't look like he will. Probably a little nervous. First game.
Probably. Carter, that is
ball's out.
That is out. And that is 13-6. Altoff got another go at it.
Altoff forces a timeout.
So timeout taken by Chaminade, during which you heard me mention the Chick-fil-A, the official chicken sandwich of the Cadet Student Network. They're one of our newer sponsors here on CSN. And they're available in CBC's concession stands. So next time you're here for a game, grab a sandwich. And also be sure to visit our favorite location on Manchester Road, just east of Ballas. They're our favorite pregame meal. Should be your favorite pregame meal. Thank you, Chick-fil-A. You know, I know what you're thinking, Jack. Chick-fil-A sounds wonderful, but I'm in a particular mood for pizza tonight, especially pizza that is purchased as a fundraising effort to support local teams, schools, and organizations. Fear not, because TJ's Pizza and Fundraising is once again a sponsor for CBC in this 2019 season. You can grab a slice of TJ's from our concession stands at any home game, and they also offer you a simple process to help your school, team, or organization raise money by selling delicious pizzas and desserts. Call TJ's at 314-869-9404. Or you can check them out online, tjspizza.com. Thank you, TJ's. And we are doing our best to hear each other up here. We've no feedback in the headsets, so if we have to repeat ourselves, that's why. We're a lot louder for you than we are to one another. Altoff still serving. Number 5, if memory serves. That is across. Set up Carter with the spike out of bounds. 14-6. The Cadets with an 8-point lead here in the first game.
Now they got to make sure they don't get comfortable here and go on their heels. They got to stay on their toes and keep pushing forward.
Altoff 6th serve. And it's across short, dug by Thomason. They set up Carter again, and that is off of McLaughlin. And Chaminade breaks a little bit of a run from CBC, and Jaden Altoff will be substituted out. Jared Ernst comes back in. Big high fives for Jaden over there. And throughout the broadcast, we'll try to highlight the seniors. You know, Jaden Altoff, not just an excellent volleyball manager, and as we just saw, a pretty good server of the volleyball, as that one's into the net from Carter. But Jaden Althoff's done some outstanding service work working with Task. He has done, far and above his required hours, and just an outstanding young man and a joy to have around the volleyball program as well. Another senior, Ryan Wheeler, 4-year varsity starter, as you might have heard in the senior night ceremony. Greer into the middle. It's Wheeler. Matteo Sullivan sets over to Meyer, who can't get it across. Finish up a point on Ryan Wheeler, just such a good player and such a key part of this CBC team.
Absolutely, and this is a night for him. He's played well all year. They don't have the record to show it yet, but I think things will start turning around. Like we always say, though, record doesn't matter. We go to districts in a couple weeks here, and everything starts over.
Serve is across, tips the net. Meyer can't get onto it.
And Ted Meyer is actually the guy coming from the middle. He's actually playing outside today, which is new for him. You'll see him. He might be a little bit slower on that approach because he's used to that middle attack. But I think he's going to actually – he's a versatile player, but we'll see how he performs here on the outside. There's
Meyer across. And all the way across, Yeager, too powerful for Wheeler. Should mention this has been Vincent Laurie serving for Chaminade, 15-10. So the Cadets have won the first 3 battles to 5. 2 more to go.
Absolutely, and that last ball is going to frustrate Wheeler right through his legs.
To be fair, though, Carter did drill that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Carter's a big player.
Laurie finally slips up, puts one into the net. And this will make it CBC's serve again, 16-10. Substitutions as Barber makes his way out. Feltz comes back in. So it's Feltz, Ernst, Wheeler, Meyer, Sullivan, and Conan for CBC. Feltz's serve across. And quick thinking there and quick hands as well by Jimmy Mullen to put it across for Chaminade.
Yeah, that's when Chaminade's catching CBC on their heels with this big lead right now. A dump from the setter out of nowhere, that surprises just about everyone.
And this is Jimmy Mullen. Right-handed serve. Ernst sets. Wheeler's going to set up Sullivan across. Into the corner. Nice dig by Ernst. That was Philip Mullen who hammered it pretty good. Mullen tips across. Sullivan. Conan pokes it over. Ryan Conan's first points of the game. Gave it a lineup for CBC. Lineup right there for Chaminade right now is Mason Mooney, Michael Yeager, Jimmy Mullen, Owen Thomason, Vincent Laurie, and will he turn so I can see the number? He will, Philip Mullen.
Got Nick Newman right here coming in for the serve for Ted Meyer.
Borgmeyer back on for CBC as well. Powerful from Mason Mooney. But that is wide, 17-11, or 17-12. No, that was in. It was in. 17-12, to be clear, is the score. It was tipped, okay. Good eyes by Braden Paulus, our cameraman, producer, and everything else tonight. James Meyer, CBC varsity hockey defenseman, getting his first touch of the game over in the stands here. Actually, not bad ball control there. Puts a nice spin on it.
He might have to come out to tryouts next year.
Yeah, we'll see if college allows him to try out. He will be graduating this year in less than a month now. Hard to believe. Seems like yesterday was that for you, Jack.
Yes, it does.
Wheeler, big hit, but that is out.
Yeah, from the back row, that pipe right there.
And the lead is down to 3. Anything CBC can do to regroup here?
Yeah, it all starts with the pass right here. You got a nice, tough float serve coming at him. If they can get this past to zone 7, Matteo Sullivan has the option to run anything he wants. Right there you saw, though, the pass came to the 10-foot line, so he's forced to go to the outside.
And that was Borgmeyer hitting it just wide, 17-15. Wouldn't be surprised if CBC tries to get him involved a couple points in a row. That was the recipe early on, and it was successful with the Cadets jumping out to a big lead. Thomason serve. Sullivan, here is Borgmeyer again, tips it over. Good dive by Mullen. Yeager can't keep it in, and that is CBC's point. Borgmeyer picks up another one. And Borgmeyer, just a junior. Looking forward to having him back next year. 17-15 is your score. We are in the first game. Cadets on the left side of your screen in black, Chaminade in red. My name is Tom Eichwald, and alongside me, CBC freshman volleyball coach Jack Lisette. Set up, Carter tips it over. Set by Borgmeyer. He had to check back a little bit to be able to hit that one. Thomason saves it. Now Phil Mullen, big block by Sullivan and Wheeler. Across the other side, Yeager tips it over. Yeager. Borgmeyer is met by Thomason. Yeager again, and that is too hard and too short for Newman to get on that one. 18-16, 2 points.
So
the smallest the lead has been since 6-4, I believe.
Yep. Smallest lead right here, and they got to take the serve back and go on a roll here.
Substitutions. Coming back in is Anthony Greer for Chaminade. He will give a break to Vincent Laurie. Michael Yeager to serve. 18-16, CBC. Thomason. Set for Greer. And Newman can't get that one either. 18-17. Point away from tying it up.
That's the second time Chaminade's found a hole in the block and hit the middle back right there. So they're going to have to start closing that block and putting their hands over that net to actually have it go back down their side of the court.
Yeager serving 17-18. Met by Newman. Set for Wheeler. Right into the ankles of Jimmy Mullen. And the Cadets regain the 2-point lead.
Big attack from Wheeler to spark some energy right there.
That is what CBC needs. They've been a lot quieter in the last few minutes than they were in the first few minutes of the game.
Yeah, the way they finish out this last 5-6 points right here is going to determine the way the next game goes.
Barber checks back in for Feltz. Serve from Sullivan met by Thomason. Carter, dig by McLaughlin, but he can't control it. 19-18. Red Devils not going away. Carter back in and up at the net alongside Greer and Jimmy Mullen for Chaminade. Phil Mullen serving. Off the net, Sullivan saves. Good thinking by Borgmeyer, is able to get up there, put it over. Set for Greer. Barber tips. Wheeler can't get there. Point Chaminade, tie game, 19-19. Mentioned Braden Paulus, our cameraman, just enjoying his pizza mid-game as well. He's put away a whole pizza by himself, which is impressive. Also impressive is that hit by Carter. Barber had no chance there. I saw his life flash before his eyes.
Yep, Devontae getting a taste of varsity athletics right here.
Yeah, exactly. And the mark of varsity athletics probably left on his chest after that one.
Wilson.
Yes. That is Chaminade's first lead of the game, 20-19, timeout taken, during which we will tell you about East Bay. CBC is proud to have East Bay as the official athletic apparel provider of the Cadets. East Bay and Under Armour keep our players and coaches looking good on the field. They can help you look good, too. Keep your eye out for CBC online team stores or shop anytime at eastbay.com. We talked about some of these seniors before the broadcast. And during the broadcast, we talked a little bit about Ryan Wheeler, a little bit about Jaden Altoff. Let's talk a little bit about Matteo Sullivan while we have a few seconds.
Absolutely. Matteo Sullivan, he's actually going to Mizzou right now. I don't think he's got plans to play college volleyball, but they do have a club team there that is, it would actually be a great fit for him there. So if he can play that a little bit and maybe come back as an alumni as well, just like I did, that'd be awesome for the program.
Living the dream, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is.
And I see some of your players making their way into the gym.
Yeah, and Matteo Sullivan also, this is his first year right now as a setter, a full-time setter. He's actually been an outside and a right side throughout club volleyball and his previous years here in high school volleyball.
Chaminade serves 20-19, their first lead of the game. Sullivan sets Wheeler. Thomason can't get there. And the Cadets tie it up again at 20. Although the two teams have very different records on the season, we were talking before the broadcast, Jack, about just how close the first game between Chaminade and CBC was.
Absolutely. I knew it was going to be a close game. And Jaden Altoff back here again, serving specialist.
Set for Carter. And Sullivan took it right away from Altoff. And that is 21-20 Chaminade. Borgmeyer trying to come back into this one for Altoff. And he does. Making sure they get the substitution right.
Absolutely. My freshman team still has problems substituting.
They got time.
Yes, they do.
And they have the coach to explain that to them.
Absolutely.
And it's quite literally a professional at that. Carter getting ready to serve. That is out. But is that?
I believe that was a foot fault called by the line judge.
That is a foot fault. It will be Chaminade's point.
Oh, Chaminade.
22-20. They're calling something.
CBC was out of rotation there then.
Coach Dean getting an explanation. Unfortunately, we have no sideline correspondent to throw it down to and get an explanation.
Would be nice.
It would be. You know, we had one once or twice. Jack Hummel, when he was a senior. I don't know if you remember Jack.
Yeah,
he was maybe a year ahead of you. Oh, he's your class. Okay.
Mine, yep.
He was our sideline correspondent. Who could forget his analysis of the March Madness dodgeball final that year? Into the net from Chaminade. CBC pulls back within a point, 22-21. I hear Jack is actually making something of a name for himself as a songwriter.
He is, absolutely. I know he picked up a guitar, got a pair of boots, and I think he's in the country business now.
Because of course he did. We all saw that coming, right?
Absolutely.
What a great kid he is. And that is over from Chaminade, but did he come across? Jimmy Mullen bemused as he's looking at the official. Which way are they going to score this?
I believe that was a net violation on the setter right there.
So it is. It will be CBC's point. And a bemused Jimmy Mullen sees it go to 22-22, Wheeler to serve. Jump serve, right hand. Just a little bit too powerful on the set there. This is Greer from the left now. Good spike, 23-22. Greer's operated nicely on both sides. Seems to prefer this left side. And he will make way as Vincent Laurie comes in.
Now it's key that CBC does side out this first ball to make it 23-23, so it's not game point for Chaminade here.
It was Meyer. Meyer again blocked by the front row. Sullivan keeps it in. Ernst. And that was Ryan Conan. Had no option. And into the middle from Mason Mooney. That makes it game point, 24-22. Chaminade battling back from a deficit that was as big as 8.
Yeah, 8.
Yep. If memory serves. Laurie serve, game point Chaminade. Sullivan out wide to Meyer, blocked. Barber can't keep it in, and the first game goes to the Chaminade Red Devils. Take the first one, 25-22. And we will get a quick break here on the Cadet Student Network to tell you about a couple more of our sponsors. Let's go through, see who we haven't talked about yet. Mercy Healthcare. We want to say thanks to the folks at Mercy Sports Medicine for continuing to take great care of our student athletes. Mercy is ranked as a top-tier Catholic health system nationally and offers the highest quality health care for students and families. We know this firsthand here at CBC. Athletic trainer Kristen Jeans and the team at Mercy take great care of our young men. To learn more, visit www.mercy.net. And I know we talked throughout the first game, Jack, but what are your overall thoughts on what you see? We talked, first of all, let's talk about the start. Needed to get off to a fast start. They did. Let's talk about those opening few minutes for CBC.
No, yeah. CBC came out really hot, actually, and Chaminade came out on their heels. What happened, though, around point 15 or so for CBC with a 7- to 6-point lead, Chaminade started creeping back in. They came in quick, and, you know, I wish I would have saw a timeout here or there, you know, from Coach Dean over there. But they left it on the court. You know, it's all about game 3 right now. It's imperative that they come in hot for this second game. If they win this second game, CBC will have the momentum going into game 3, and that's what's going to be important here.
We're going to take a quick break here on the Cadet Student Network. We will come back, and we will have the second game. Chaminade takes the first. You're watching CSN at Senior Night. Thanks for joining us. Stick around. We are back. Chaminade takes the first game on CBC Senior Night in the D.C. Wilcott Gymnasium. Score in that one, 25-22. The Cadets are now on the right side of your screen, still wearing the home blacks, and Chaminade in the visiting red uniforms as we get set for Game 2. Tom Eichwald and Jack Lisette on the Cadet Student Network. We got Braden Paulus working camera and production tonight. It is a busy week. Right out the buzzer because I can't hear myself over. Busy week here on CSN. We have tonight we got this. We have the band concert going on just after this, about 7 o'clock in Ross Hall. We'll bring you that. Tomorrow night there is a dress rehearsal of the play that CBC is putting on, so you'll want to stick around and watch that after the weekend. If you can make it up for the play, come up this weekend. Showtimes on Friday and Sunday, of course, working around prom. Now, prom will not be brought to you on the Cadet Student Network. That would not be... we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always fun, though.
2014 prom was a great night.
It always is. First point of the second game will go to CBC. We mentioned the fast start they got off to in the first one. And it's kind of the opposite of the rest of the season is what we saw in that first game.
Absolutely.
Ernst serving. Set for Yeager, operating out of the middle. And
that's what I'm talking about right there, establishing that middle. If they keep doing that, the reason to do that is just so they bring our outsides in to have a triple block. We have a triple block in the middle, outsides are open. So we got to make sure we shut down that middle next time.
And a nice spike by Yeager into the back corner as well as he worked around that block. Serving is Jimmy Mullen. Sullivan over for the Cadets. Chaminade somehow returns that. Wheeler. It'll be Meyer, and that is too deep. And it's 2-1 Chaminade. Out there for CBC at the start of the second game, it is Sullivan, Conan, Newman, Meyer, Wheeler, and Ernst. For Chaminade, serving is Jimmy Mullen. He's got Vincent Laurie, Thomason, Yeager, Mooney, and who am I missing? Philip Mullen, number 9. Outside, Yeager, blocked by Meyer. Set for Philip. In the middle again, this is Philip Mullen. And a big block by Conan.
Yeah, great block by Conan right there. And then also right before there, Ted Meyer, that off-block recovery right there. That was perfect. That was key. If the off-block pass was not there, that ball is coming off that block and it's hitting the ground every time. So Ted Meyer, great job right there.
Jimmy McLaughlin to serve for CBC. Just over the net. Thomason receives. They're going to set up Yeager. Big block by Wheeler. That is height, reach, and good instinct right there. And the Cadets take the lead 3-2. Cadets at one point led 14-6. If I'm remembering correctly, in that first game, ended up losing it. And the second game starting off right where we left off with some back and forth action, 3-3 between CBC and Chaminade on senior night. McLaughlin. Sullivan sets all the way across from Meyer. Contact is across the net, but Chaminade sets for Yeager. Ernst. Sullivan. Wheeler let it go, and that is going to cost the Cadets 4-3. Miscommunication there?
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication. I don't know if Wheeler was just late and he thought the outside was coming in there, but that was clearly a 3-ball, which is just an extended 1-ball outside. But that was Wheeler's ball, yes. Miscommunication.
Thomason serve. Received by McLaughlin. Now more miscommunications from CBC. They will really need to iron this out. 5-3, Chaminade lead. Have to avoid getting flustered against a team that comes in with a lot of momentum in Chaminade. In Chaminade, you're looking at a team, they've got 3 losses, the last of which occurred on April 4th. So Chaminade has won the last 10 in a row. You cannot allow them to build momentum and settle in. That'll work.
That's the serve Matteo Sullivan's been working on. That's the serve.
A lot of power in that one, and that could not be corralled by Philip Mullen over there on the far side. Sullivan again, 5-5. Nice top spin, brings it right down into Thomason's arms, and Thomason sets Yeager off of Ted Meyer and out of bounds. 6-5. Substitution, Greer comes in, gives Vincent Laurie a break. It's Anthony Greer, the senior, number 11. Listed as a right side. We've seen him very comfortable on the left, though, throughout the game tonight. Sullivan sets. Meyer puts it over. Thomason for Philip Mullen, blocked by Wheeler. Set for Carter, into the middle. Ernst can't get there, and that makes it 6-5 in favor of Chaminade.
Jared Ernst right there in that middle hit. He just needs to make sure he's getting around that block. Don't hide behind the blocker. If he chose right or left, he'll be there. He's got to stay low in that middle block, or the middle passing.
One of the things for CBC, even though we're a little ways into the season, you have a lot of guys really playing in their first season together as a unit.
Absolutely. This is a very young team. We have 2 seniors who are actually play with Jaden Altoff as the manager, who could be considered the third senior. But it's a very young team overall. A lot of juniors and a few sophomores on the team as well.
Well, a lot of the mistakes we're seeing tonight is that one sails high and wide. 8-5 for Chaminade. A lot of the mistakes we're seeing, things like, not being quite lined up to position the defense, really communication and trust
Absolutely.
things.
It's definitely coming out with confidence that you trust in each other player on that court. Everyone's got their responsibility. They're all very well positional players. So if they're in their position, they should trust the other player and they should know who's getting that ball.
And so look to see CBC build that sort of communication and trust as this team continues on together this year and next year as well. Nice block there by Carter. This is Jake Schaefer into the game, wearing number 1 now. 10-5. Chaminade takes a timeout. While we have a moment, I want to tell you about Resurrection Charities Foundation. This is a special organization that is dedicated to feeding and supporting the homeless in our community through street outreach. Each week, a dedicated team of volunteers commit many hours to preparing and delivering meals to the people who need it most. This effort is led by our own founding sponsor, Tim Kylo, a great example of how CBC's alumni carry our LaSalle mission far beyond their high school days. To learn more about Tim's work, just search Resurrection Charities Foundation on Facebook. Be sure to show your support for this great organization. Now, as a coach, Jack, what's going on in this huddle at the timeout? You're trailing. You haven't gotten off to the start you wanted to in this game. What are you doing to try to adjust?
Absolutely. You're telling your passers to get your feet to the ball, making sure that pass, again, is to zone 7, something CBC's been struggling with here right now. If you get that ball to zone 7, I'm sure Coach Dean is giving the attacker some instruction, whether it's let's run a 3-ball or 1-ball to Wheeler, but they definitely have something set up here on an in-play pass.
Come out of this timeout. The Cadets do trailing 5-10. Serving for Chaminade, it is Michael Yeager, number 27. It'll be a jump serve. Top spin. Sullivan sets for Wheeler. And that is down into the net. 11-5.
Wheeler just making the common mistake of dropping his elbow right there. He's got to keep that elbow high, swing deep.
Yeager again, 11-5 Chaminade. That is out. 11-6. Good communication over there on the far side.
Great communication. I will say that Jared Ernst right there actually made it to the line and put his foot on that line to make sure that ball was going out, which is what every coach would like to see.
It's almost like you know something about being a libero, Jack.
I do. I was never tall enough to play the front row. I grew in college, though.
Jaden Altoff back into the game to serve. Set for Carter, and that is just across. Looked like Wheeler and Schaefer couldn't contain that one, and it's out and make it 12-6 Chaminade.
Yeah, just a little bit late on that block right there.
Another one of your classmate, Alex Erbs, goes and digs that one out. He's a junior varsity head coach and varsity assistant. His first year helping out, second year helping out? First year helping out.
Yeah, all brand new coaches here in the program right now.
It's got to be kind of fun, all learning the ropes together.
And Coach Dean has been an amazing person to come in here for varsity as well. She's experienced. She's done girls volleyball for the last 5 years or so. She's a great coach.
Yeah, Borgmeyer's hit is blocked by Chaminade, who is allowing nothing right now, 14-6. Now this exact deficit, was overcome by Chaminade in the first game. CBC will look to reverse the script on him, as the Red Devils are in the ascendancy right now. Philip Mullen deep. Good read by Jimmy McLaughlin. Let that one go, 14-7. That's how it starts. Substitutions. Ryan Conan will come in. McLaughlin gets a break. So it's Conan, Schaefer, Borgmeyer, Sullivan, Ernst, and Wheeler for the Cadets. Tip from Chaminade. Philip Mullen. Cross by Jimmy Mullen. Ernst stepping up into the front row. Sullivan sets Borgmeyer into the net. Chaminade point. Gave the lineup for the Cadets. For Chaminade right now, it is Yeager, Thomason, Carter, Mullen, and Greer. No sooner do I do that, Thomason makes way, and Mooney comes out. It's always right when you finish the lineup that somebody makes a substitution. Carter serve. Borgmeyer up into the ceiling. Bad luck. Wheeler can't get it over. And that will make it 16-5. 16-7, Chaminade.
Cadets really need a side out right here. They need to pick up the momentum. This is the perfect time to do it. They still have a chance in this game. We just got to see off this first serve.
That serve will come from Brian Carter. That is out. And 16-8. The Cadets get another one back. More substitutions. Schaefer's going to get a break. Newman comes back out for him. Newman to serve. That is deep. And that will not what CBC needed right now. Score 17-8. Greer makes way now, and Vincent Laurie comes in, and he will serve for Chaminade. Vincent Laurie, who opened the game at serving, I believe. Cross. Newman mishandles, and now we're starting to see mental mistakes from the Cadets.
Yes, Nick Newman, when he's hot, he's hot. When he gets in a slump, sometimes he gets to himself, and he's just going to have to pull himself out of that right now.
Laurie. Wheeler. Sullivan back into the middle. Wheeler steps up from the back row. Philip Mullen keeps it in. Set for Mooney. And that is met by Conan and Sullivan, 18-9. So the mistake by Newman, then they pick him right back up, get that point. Ernst is in. Looks like they're going to bring Ted Meyer back in as well. Once they figure out who he's coming in for. Borgmeyer. Front row of Conan, Sullivan, and Borgmeyer. Ernst to serve. Philip Mullen. Jimmy Mullen. Across. Mooney can't poke it across. Thomason keeps it in. Jump ball right on top of the net. Ted Meyer battle. Wheeler ended up putting it over. Yeager's spike is met at the net. Jimmy Mullen sets up Mooney. Spike is out of bounds. Cadet point.
And that was a nice big rally right there to hopefully spark some extra energy.
It was, and a nice primal shout by Newman as well.
Yes.
18-10. Cadets starting to claw their way back into this one. Sort of momentum they need to pick up and cash in on. Ernst. That's met by Chaminade. Now over to Mooney. Across. Sullivan keeps it in. Wheeler sets it up from Meyer. And that's another Cadet point. 18-11. Cadets back within 7 here in the second game. Chaminade picked up the first 25-22. CBC trying to force a third. Jimmy Mullen, Mooney. Sullivan sets. Ted Meyer tipped out. Another Cadet point. Ted Meyer starting to pick things up here in the second game.
Absolutely. If Chaminade's blockers are not going to be disciplined on that net, I say go for their hands. Hit their hands and hit it out of bounds every time.
Starting to work it out to the left like they did with Borgmeyer early on in the first game. And they're finding success. Ernst serve, met by Thomason. All the way across for Yeager. Blocked back over, put over by Sullivan. Mullivan out of the back row is Philip Mullen. And a big block by CBC, back within 5.
Yep, CBC is coming back right now. Hopefully they're sparking the energy to bring it back all the way. But I like what I'm seeing. You can actually see Chaminade slowly get put on their heels right now.
Jimmy Mullen. Yeager, another big block. Sullivan and Conan there again. 18-14, Cadets within 4. This game has seen some volatile momentum shifts, hasn't it?
Oh, yes.
It's a very even game so far, made up of about 4 very one-sided games. Mental mistake by Philip Mullen. Cadets back within 3.
Yes. Got to celebrate their unforced errors on that side.
I'm telling you, if this game were played to 8, you'd have runaway winners both ways, wouldn't you? Yeager. Blocked again. They're denying him on the left side. Again, Yeager. This time he goes over the block, met by Ted Meyer, covering well. It's Meyer. Met at the net. Jimmy Mullen puts it over. Savvy from the veteran.
Yeah, it's not the first time he's done that this game. He's good. He's got the sight. He's looking at his peripherals. He knows nobody's going up with him right there. He's glad to put it over on that second ball.
And Jimmy Mullen, the senior captain, knows they just need a little bit of momentum. So by tipping it over, just trying to burst CBC's bubble here a little bit. 15 serving 19. Sullivan. Ted Meyer. Good serve into Thomason. Philip Mullen met at the line, but that is off of CBC. Chaminade point 20-15. Cadets trailing by 12 here in the second game. Still very much in it, though. Jimmy Mullen serving. He's got Laurie, Thomason, Yeager, Mooney, and Phil Mullen alongside him. Set by Sullivan across to Meyer. Big block by Mooney and Yeager as the Cadets fall to 15-21.
And a big block like that actually has the power to seriously put us back in our defensive mode, you know.
Be a big confidence hit. Jimmy Mullen finds Wheeler, set for Ted Meyer, who is not giving up. 21-16. 5-point deficit again. McLaughlin's going to come into this game for Conan.
Matteo seems pretty confident in Ted right there. It's the third time he set him on the outside.
He does, and Ted's done a nice job.
Yes, he has.
McLaughlin's serve. Mooney found Newman. Out wide, Wheeler, the veteran, hits it.
Yeah, I think Wheeler owes that play right there to Nick Newman for picking that one up.
Good pass by Newman, and Wheeler, the senior, stepping up. He doesn't want to lose senior night. Nobody wants to lose senior night.
No.
Got the families here. I'll go back and watch it on CSN. Jimmy McLaughlin's serve. Jimmy Mullen sets for Phil Mullen. That is in. Chaminade point 22-17. Not far from being out.
Yeah, I got to say from up here, that looked like it was out, but line judge call.
That would have been a 3-point deficit instead of a 5-point deficit. Would have been 18-21. Instead, it's 22 serving 17 as Chaminade looks to close it out with the last few points here. Thomason served by McLaughlin. Sullivan sets, and Meyer into the net. It's on his heels a little bit. 23-17. Big point here. Thomason finds Ernst. Sullivan tips it over. Owen Thomason, Jimmy Mullen, Carter. Newman, Sullivan sets. Meyer couldn't get there in time. Puts it over, and Carter slams it home.
Yeah, I expect nothing less from Brian Carter. He's a very impressive player. You know, I think Ryan Wheeler has the power to get up there on that block, but he was just a little bit too slow right there.
This is match point. Chaminade 24, CBC 17, and it's Owen Thomason serving for it. That is out. CBC gets another point. This time 24-18. We need a run of 8 in a row to win this one for the Cadets. It has been done before. Matteo Sullivan to serve. Finds Thomason. Jimmy Mullen tips it up. Yeager. Good save by Ernst, kept alive. Wheeler into the net, and that is going to do it. Chaminade comes in on senior night and pulls off the win 25-22 and then 25-18. And it was a good effort from the Cadets. They did not give up. It just didn't quite break for them at the end, did it?
Absolutely. They started slowing down, and when you start slowing down, you know, there's results that happen, you know. So we'll deal with this. Again, like I said, we got districts in 2 weeks. Record doesn't matter. They'll come out as a brand new team in districts.
So the Cadets at times were very, very impressive tonight. Probably some of the better volleyball they've played throughout the year at times. Do you take some positives from this?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I saw a couple things actually that I saw in the SLU game as well. We put the block up there. You see in that last game here, there was a few rallies that went back and forth, and most of them, you know, were going back and forth just on the block. I think Chaminade attacked 4 straight times in a row, and we had a block up there every time. That's what we did to SLU. We took SLU to 3 games, which is amazing. We shut them down at the block. They just got to be a little bit more consistent.
And some of the key players tonight, you know, we'll talk first about the junior Ted Meyer, who had an outstanding game.
Yeah, absolutely. Ted Meyer, yeah, you can actually see we talked about it. Matteo Sullivan feeling really confident. I think he went out there 3-4 times in a row as well. When a guy's on fire like that, I mean, keep going to him until the blocker, you know, actually contests, you know, what Ted Meyer's bringing. Keep throwing it out to him.
And it is senior night, so we'll wrap up the broadcast talking about some of the seniors. First of all, Jaden Altoff. You saw him get into this game as a serving specialist a few times, and not the way he wanted his senior career to end, but it'd be a little fun for him getting out there.
Yeah, that was really surprising what he actually brought out there. A 6-0 run or something like that. I mean, that was really impressive coming from a person who's never actually played a competitive game of volleyball in his life. So that was very, very impressive.
So Jaden getting in there, and then Matteo Sullivan, you talked about him. Very subtle influence at times during this game, but he's sort of the glue in many cases as the setter that kind of holds the attack together.
He touches the ball every single play. Like I said, he's got the opportunity to choose where he's setting that ball. So if he wants to go to Ted every single time, he can do that until Coach Dean tells him not to. I mean, he's going to keep playing the game he wants to play.
And Ryan Wheeler, will wrap it up with him, 4-year varsity starter. He is continuing his volleyball career at the next level, so we wish him well. But just some tremendous contributions he's made over the last few years to the CBC volleyball program.
Absolutely. He's not only become a better player, but he's made other players become better. He's a great player to be a part of with the team and the coach, but really outstanding player, even on the attacking and just as much in the back row as well.
That's going to do it for us. I want to thank Braden Paulus, who made this broadcast possible, and also want to thank you, Jack, on your CSN debut.
Thank you very much for having me.
First broadcast. You did wonderfully, and we wish you the rest of your season as the freshman coach as well. I want to thank everybody for joining us. My name is Tom Eichwald, and stick around. Busy week on CSN. We hope you enjoy being a part of the CBC community as much as we do, and we are pleased to bring it for you here. We're going to sign off. Have a good night, everybody, and enjoy the rest of the week on the Cadet Student Network.